colorful paint jobs with glimmering specks of metallics. Bouncing hydraulics cruising low and slow. This is lowrider and Chicano culture.
I've been lowriding since I was a kid. I bought this car for my wife. So my wife likes jewelry and bling, so that's why the gold and the chrome engraving.
This 1965 Chevy Impala is a labor of love for Chito Mireles, and for many lowrider owners, fixing and making additions to the car is a never-ending process.
Every lowrider you see out there, they're all different. It's the way we express ourselves, from our paint jobs, to our wheels, to the engraving on the cars, the interiors.
Tinkering with classic cars has been a lifelong passion for Mireles.
My dad's had lowriders his whole life. He's cruised San Jose back in the 70s with my uncles. He's always worked on classic cars.
Since the 1980s, state vehicle code has allowed cities across California to stop drivers from cruising and driving cars modified to be a certain height. Cities like Sacramento, Modesto, and San Jose have recently lifted the decades-old ban.
I was happy they lifted the ban, because lifting the ban, it just unifies everybody. Lowriders, hot rods, C10 trucks, everybody. It just unifies everybody to go out there, cruise, enjoy it.
And speaking of C10 trucks,
I have my truck behind me, but I also have a 58 Impala that my husband built for me. And it was in my brother's memory because he had a black one.
Tina Perez Tateo credits her late brother for introducing her to lowriders.
That's how I feel here in my gut, of my brother and my husband building me a car like his, to take that burden off my shoulders, because I wanted to do something for him in his memory.
Aside from dedicating her car after her brother, Perez Tateo felt drawn to make some changes in her Modesto community. She's part of Cruising Culture of Modesto, a group that fought to legalize cruising and succeeded this past July.
And we had to prove to them that it could work. But we got really lucky because a lot of people on the city council are car people.
Cruising across the state could soon be possible. Assembly Bill 436 will remove the ban statewide. For both Perez Tateo and Mireles, the concern for banning it in the first place should no longer be an issue today.
It's a whole different time now. Times have changed, people have grown up.
The roots of lowriding can be traced back to the 1940s, when car culture was taking off after World War II, when veterans were purchasing cars with the money earned from their service.
That's our culture. It goes back to when the GIs came back from World War II.
By the 1970s, lowriders took a more formalized political function with the Chicano movement and the fight for equality. In the 1980s, cruising was associated with gang culture, creating a stigma for everyone who was into lowriders and cruising. Now, Perez Tateo says things have changed for the better.
We're different people now. We're 30 years older now. We have children, we have grandchildren, and we want them to cruise with us.
Perez Tateo says her love for lowriders came from her dad, a war veteran. She says it gave him something to look forward to after coming home from World War II.
They came back and they thought of, hey, I want to do this car like this, and I'm going to put sandbags in the trunk to lower it, because none of this hydraulic stuff we had back then, right?
Perez Tateo also hopes to help remove the stigma that this car culture is only for Hispanic men.
They want to move from the passenger side to the driver's side now, and to be a role model for the younger generation.
Assemblymember David Alvarez introduced AB 436.
Lowriding and cruising is part of culture. It's part of a lot of our communities throughout the state, and it shouldn't be something that gets penalized.
Local government also needs to have the ability to make sure that people are safe. And when we had problems, we had to stop the cruising. I think we should. So I respectfully ask for a no vote.
Most cruising events now happen during the day. Lifting the ban would allow more people to come together to reclaim their identity and culture and address some of the safety concerns.
It just brings unity, not just in our community, but amongst the state.
But to also inspire a new wave of car enthusiasts.
And I hope they pick up a trade, doing mechanics, painting, upholstery, bodywork. It's out there for them to do, so we hope to keep that alive also.